Something else I was going to look at. I was going to finish this in about half an hour. I don't know whether I have time. I do want to look at Behat. I do want to, because what I want to do is something like I would have a thing that's like how does it work? Is it like given when then? Right, for Behat. So like given a build YAML file with this content, there's a way of passing through like a table or something. We'll just pseudocode this out for now. But I feel like there's a way of doing this. And like what we've got is like a name. We've got an example. Or, you know what I'll do? Actually, let's find one of the ones from the snapshot test. I've got something for Commerce Kickstart. Commerce Kickstart build. Kickstart YAML. Okay, maybe it's that one. Yeah, okay. So I've got a few of these example projects on GitHub that there's a few Drupal ones. There's like a main vanilla Drupal. There's a Commerce Kickstart distribution one. There's a local gov distribution one. I've got a Symfony one, a Laravel one, a Sculpin one. I've got a few of these now, and I've moved them all to use this tool. So, and then in that snapshot test, I'm using that -c option to specify the config file, which in this case is Drupal Commerce Kickstart YAML. But what I want to do is something like in a test. How would I define something like this? I feel like I can do it with Behat. When I generate the configuration files, then I should have then the following files should be present. So at the moment also it's Drupal, and then because there's differences and there's conditions about whether certain files only be generated if it's PHP, and certain ones be generated if obviously it's in web. I don't actually do use that for some things. Actually, many things of what it generates, maybe not. Docker file, blah 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 blah. Git example. I'm trying to think of like Nginx, and it'll generate different files. So I can say, and because it's like PHP versus JavaScript, because I do some fractal based projects with it as well. Like it'll generate different files based on the language or the type or whatever, but also like the content of it. So let's say we had one that said like Drupal doc root. So if like the doc root is doc root, then just think of an example. So we use it in PHP, let's say like PHP unit twig. Right, so things like this, the bootstrap part is going to be different based on whether it's web versus config, for example. So like the following file should be present. So we should have a PHP init.xml dist, and the content should contain. I'm pseudo coding this now. I don't know. I assume this is not. Oh, I assume there's something maybe like this that checks the contents of the file, but I don't. I assume it's not that. We're just pseudo coding that out for now, and I'll put this into notes, and maybe we'll look at this next week. So this should be web. And then what I'd also like then to do is have like the equivalent contain. Okay, so like there's test 1, there's test 2. And if we said then that like this one instead of web is called doc root. Let's see. So if we replace web doc root, both of those. So Drupal doc root is doc root. Seems a bit repetitive, but that's fine. So in that example, then it would be different. And in fact, funny enough, the Drupal commerce ones don't generate PHP unit files at all because there's no custom modules to test. So it's a bit of a bad example to be fair. Yeah, if we just like the normal one, not the commerce one, but like the normal Drupal example, the more basic one, that would generate a PHP XML file. Drupal.yaml, because I was at DrupalCon in Lille. I thought, oh, I'll make one for this because I can make them fairly quickly with using this tool. And went, oh, why is the thing failing? And it was generating a PHP XML was not generating one that expected to be there because there aren't any modules or custom modules to test. So I had to, now it accepts like falsy values and won't generate the files if that's the case. Whereas something like that, like the normal Drupal one, would. Yeah, that's what I'd like to do. Example. Let's have something like that, because at the moment, if I jump back into that run file, I can show you like what I know. The snapshot testing frameworks and things. Let's see. Changes. Okay, let's just save as notes. Notes 2. So I've already got a notes file. Zoom this in a bit. Yeah, so I know that there are snapshot testing frameworks. I did look at some of the ones that were there before, but this is just like done with Bash, basically. So yeah, test snapshots thing that I'm running. Delete any existing snapshots and make an empty folder, and then loop over these configurations. Drupal, Commerce, Kickstart, Local Gov, and then Fractal. Fractal's a JavaScript-based component library design system tool. So it gives me a good test for anything that's not PHP as well, because obviously there will be things like composed JSON files and things to look at. For each one, we're going to load the config file, get the input path, generate the output path. The convention I've got is anything in .ignored gets automatically get ignored globally. Let's see, cat out the config file. Then we run build configs, generate config file, output directory. So using those options we saw earlier to specify a config file and an output directory. So we load up the Drupal commerce.yaml file and output it into .ignored snapshot output. And then we just go through each file that it found and then checks whether they match or not. So that's what we have at the moment. Let's see if I can get this just to show this again. Run test snapshots. So yeah, it just goes through each one, then looks for Docker Fractal, generates these files. These files will match. So if I was to change, let's see, where are they? Tests. See, I don't work on this thing for a while, and then I forget where things are. Configs, output, Fractal. So yeah, in theory, even just like adding a line here now. Let's search for the directory. Why? What does it mean? Error detected processing. Halo lint. Oh, it's trying to run linting on my Docker file, which is interesting. Okay, fine. We'll do a different file if you're going to be awkward. No SSR's change. Yeah, I know. Let's go back and give that let's say for example I change .uk to .dev. So each file it generates has this little comment at the top. Do not edit this file because I don't want people changing them and then having things matching, not working anymore. Save that. Let's make that Yeah, so now we get files do not match. So yeah, we can see that this is what we get, and this is what we this is what we get. This is what we were expecting. Yes, or the other way around. Doesn't matter, but they don't match. That's the main thing. So it's also hidden away though a little bit, having this bash file approach. And I do have a command also in that run file that says create a snapshot, so it will make them. So it's fairly straightforward, but this is why I want to look at something like Behat just to see, or something else. Behat's the one that sprung to mind, and maybe that's because Ryan was talking about it on his stream for the SymphonyCast's Hero thing, maybe. But yeah, I'm certainly up for trying it. I've used it on projects before, but not for a few years probably. Yeah, let's maybe do a quick. I'll do maybe another 10, maybe 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna drop off, I think, and then maybe next week I can pick this up, unless I do some more streaming in the week, but we'll see. Okay, speaking of SymphonyCast, we have a SymphonyCast video. Got the Behat one. Was anything in particular? Because I know that there's Symphony Flex, and there's things that we can use like compose require PHP unit, and it will add it, and like the bridge, the things. I am not as familiar with Symphony stuff as Drupal stuff, if I'm honest. So I'm not as up to date with all the things. Let's have a look. Symphony Flex. So we don't have Ryan in the chat able to see what's going on. There's a list, which I feel was like recipes, or there was something that showed you all of the options. Or maybe we should look at sort of Behat for command line tools. Let's see. Command line tool, Behat, command line. Is that for the actual tool itself, or let's see. Yeah, this looks exactly the same as when was the last time I looked at it, which was a while ago. But yeah, it's a tool that makes behavior-driven development possible. Imagine you've been asked to build an ls command. Yeah, this is what I mean. Yeah, given this and this and this, when I run this, I should get this. So I know you can write custom steps, which might be the wrong word, but so for things like when given this file, there might be an already existing step for that, or I might need to write my own one. But this is what I was saying. Saying that earlier on. Let's bring that up again. Actually, let's notes 2. Let's remove the highlights. There we go. So this is what I was sort of going. I've used double backticks in mine. This one is triple quotes. It's the same sort of idea. So given I'm in this directory, I'll have a file. I should run this. That's cool. So yeah, I feel like we can do this, and I feel like it would make it a lot clearer what is being tested and what's happening. Usually, in a Drupal project, I'm usually running mostly functional web tests, and then some kernel tests, some integration tests, and that's the way I tend to work. And I've written some unit tests for some libraries and things that I've written. Haven't used Behat for a while, so this is, although I say I'm familiar with it from projects I've worked on. Is there any specific things for Symfony, or is it just? No, it doesn't look like. Installation, Composer, file, run, install. Okay. Basic usage. Yeah, in it. Okay. Right, okay, maybe we in the next last 10 minutes or so, let's just see whether we can bootstrap this. So we have OBS, so that's a good start. We have a composer JSON file. So again, I don't think we have, there's no Behat in here. And we do have a Nix flake at the beginning. So we have PHP.2, we have composer. So I can just grab this then. But you to run Docker commands, for example. I don't need to run Docker compose exec something composer. I can just run composer here. So create position in the project root. Okay, download file. That seems a silly way, interesting way of doing it. Normally you have to run like composer require, right? That's usually the way to do it. Composer, right, dev. Let's see. So it seems to have been installed. That's good. And then bin. That's where my binary is, the actual tool itself. Let's have a look if it's in. Yeah, there's Behat. There. So I think I have this set up, yeah, to allow my path. So I've got this set up to allow my path variable, which is where the shell will look for things, for binaries. I've added in .vendor bin, so it'll just look relative to wherever I am for a vendor bin for, which is why I can do Behat as well as doing vendor bin Behat. And because I'm using CSH, I can also do this. It expands and then bin, because there's also things with bin in it, or be in them. So yeah, that should, either of those work. So context class can't be found. Okay, there were some more steps for you to run. After this, you'll be able to run Behat with bin Behat, or for us, it's vendor bin Behat, or just Behat. What's cool, actually, I think I've said that a few times. There's a Drupal integration Behat. They used to have a picture of a hat with a bee on it, and I remember Jeff Good, I think, one of his streams saying, "Oh, I didn't realize it was Behat because it's a bee," but you could just see that moment where something just clicks. Okay, we already have a project. We don't need to make a project. We don't need to move into. We're already inside the project, so we can just run Behat in it. And if I wasn't 5 or 10 minutes before the end of the stream, I would move this onto a different workspace. Next time I will probably do that. I don't have that set up anymore. Okay, let's just run Behat in it. People, yeah, I don't like this. When there's code symbols with the $ in them and then people copy paste them. I'm sure I've done it and probably done it recently. But then when you try and copy paste things, it doesn't work. I used to have something in my shell configuration that set it to be a null value, essentially, to ignore it. Yeah. The GitHub do it with background images and things. Okay, let's have a look what's in LazyGit. Cool, so we have features with the bootstrap file. Cool. We've got those changes. We saw those earlier. They're not related. Then we've got the config file. Then obviously the log file has changed as well. Yeah, that's sort of what I expect to see. So vendor bin Behat. So no scenarios are set. Oh, cool. So it looks like we've got it at least wrapped and running. Let's see if we can. If we just copy this, will it work? So it's all flooding back to me how this works. Sort of, maybe. An example, the feature will be using the ls command, which of course we have. Since the ls command is not one of features.ls. Okay, cool. So if we make this, I've said this now. At some point, change this, but not today. Okay, so made a file, and then we need this content. Is this the same feature? This is the top of the. This is yeah. Again, goodness me. Okay. Feature. Nice. Okay. Yep, it's all coming back. So we've set the actual feature, so we can set like a description here, and it just outputs it, but we still have no scenarios or no steps. Okay, and then add the following scenario to the end of the file. So this is our feature, and then this is the scenario within the feature. So this is a test case within a file, maybe. Okay, that's cool. I like the way it's just hiding things in different colors for me. Scenario given. I wonder, do I need to like indent them another level? That would seem logical. Okay, given this two files in a directory, given I'm in a directory test, I'll have a file called this and a file called that. Where else I should see this? Okay, makes sense. Okay. Let's see. Scenario. So it's outputting the things that we've put in. One scenario, one is undefined, 5 steps are undefined. Features context, generate snippets. Okay. I'm going to assume we're going to do it inside feature context. And yep, this is all coming back. So we need to tell it what it means when it says I'm in a directory. So just put these here, I'm guessing, everybody. Guess we put these in here. Okay. Let's just recap what we did there. So it realized that we were adding lines that it didn't know what to do with them. Right? Like, given I'm in this directory, given this file exists, and this is where I was thinking earlier on, there might be, given we've got this build YAML file, or it contains this, or it should generate this file. This is what it's doing. So this, given this is the thing, and this is the placeholder, this is the string that it's going to look for, and then this is what it does already when it gets to that. So it's just the Gherkin language. I think that's the right thing for it. This is then going to run that PHP code behind the scenes. So it's sort of a layer on front of that. Cool. Okay, let's just make sure I'm not missing any words out. Executing. Let's get some steps. But yeah, this is what I'll want to do. Write that sort of language about, given this step, when I generate it with this, I should have this, and I can write the code that does it. Okay, let's see. It finds the file. Yeah, I've skipped a little bit ahead here. Given us in the directory called test, which we're not, which is why we're failing. Okay. What do we have by printing the expression? You need to create the step definition. Given I'm in a directory, so throw a pending exception. Are we throwing an exception? Let's jump back to the other file we were in. Feature context. Let's hop in that. Okay, so yeah, everything at the moment is throwing an exception. Presumably because it's wanting me to put the code in that tells it what to do. Of course, we're not in a directory called test. We're just going to have to make the directory called test and then move into it. Given I'm in this directory. Okay, so we need to tell it what that is. Okay. Given I'm in a directory. So arg1. So if we rename this arg1 for now, just to match what the thing is. Oh, undo tree open. How did that go open? This actually, yeah, let's rename it to do. Just makes a bit more sense. So given I'm in a directory called dir, what the variable is dir. If it doesn't exist, make the directory and then change into the directory. Try to change it here. No. Okay, cool. So now this has gone, these few lines were all red before. So this one's green. So this line should now be passing. Give them a directory called test. I have a file called foo. Okay, so now presumably we're going to need to keep going down and then fix this exception. Okay, so I have a file named, so it's going to make the file. Or we need to tell it to make the file specifically. And again, let's call that file. So it's going to make the file, or at least try to. That fixes these two steps. So we've made the directory, we've changed into the directory, we've now got a file and a file called val. Okay, when I run ls, okay, so in the exception, let's move on. Is run the command. Okay, so we're going to run exec. Actually, something to make a mental of next time is, can I run this within Vim test? I don't know whether Vim test supports this. ls enable variable command. Okay, need to change this here again. It's a little bit frustrating that I have to keep doing that. Creation of dynamic property featuring on output is deprecated. Okay. That's interesting. Maybe I'm running a newer PHP version. No, I should get this. Okay. PyString node. That's also interesting. Next time I'm going to have to figure out the best way of doing this, because I wanted to try and do it so I had chat on the screen in case anybody did start chatting, but then I'm just aware that I keep switching to it inadvertently. Creative dynamic property output is deprecated, so I assume it's because I'm doing PHP.2, so maybe that's a thing that we can change quickly. Let's just see. Right, so now we're on page 2. Yeah, flakes and nicks is awesome. Yeah, okay, so there's deprecation warning at 8.2 that was causing that problem. Okay, I wonder whether anybody's aware of that. We'll have to make an issue. Cool, okay. Cool, that's very interesting. So again, let's just make sure that we can make this fail by just changing that. Let's make sure that it's testing what we think it's testing. Cool, then I should get bar2 and foo, which is what I've just changed it to, and the actual output is this. Cool, and then presumably again I can change this to be like echo. And then yeah, again, like it's running echo fine, but then the thing, yeah, okay, so this is, it's testing what I think should be testing. So yeah, I think in an interesting place here to move forward, and maybe I'll do maybe a little bit more research into this before the next time I do a stream. But it's interesting. I haven't gone through this process definitely for quite a while. So I was sort of assuming that it would have some of these standard steps pre-set up, but it's interesting to me that it still wanted me to fill them in and tell to even like for this, what I would say to be a fairly standard, I am in a directory, I have this file. So maybe if we have to do that anyway, then adding things like the things I was saying about earlier on aren't going to be that difficult. That's cool. Right, I think we've done that. So we've got the driver and option working. So that was quite cool. Again, whether we use that as part of a test or to check whether it doesn't, like during the actual file, like Behat is going to run the commands and then make the actual files on disk and everything. So it probably would be better for it to check the actual files, but we can check that and the message potentially. Yeah, just to validate that certain files are generated or not, because that's what I want to do. And the more I keep building this tool, adding more options to it, I'll just make sure that I've got a good, what I've got now works and is testing what it needs to be tested and serving the purpose I set it up to do. We just want to make sure I can scale that, I think, properly and come back to it later on and not sort of go, oh, well, how did I set this up? And why did I do it this way with the bash script rather than using something else? And I know why, but it's a little while ago. So using a more sort of standardized tool could be interesting. And it's been a while since I've used Behat and it's been a while since I've done a stream. So it felt like put those things together and learn Behat again on a stream and add something else to my testing bow, I suppose. A few people have said about Behat again to me recently when I was doing my automated testing email course, and that's all based on Drupal and functional tests and PHP tests within Drupal. Nothing to do with Behat, but there's obviously a crossover between Drupal's functional browser web tests and Behat tests because they use the same thing under the hood. Like the Drupal ones use the main driver that Behat uses. So there's obviously some overlap, but in certain projects where maybe you're not doing have access to Drupal testing, if you're doing something else, then having Behat there as an option is good. And some people like having these sorts of files with steps in this sort of Gherkin English business driven requirements approach rather than writing them in PHP or in JavaScript. And this is available for various languages, I think, as well. I think the Behat and Gherkin is the PHP implementation. I might be getting these wrong, or Cucumber. There's a few of them, but I'm probably getting these a little bit muddled because it's been a while. But yeah, you could write the same things in Python, and then also you just write Python code behind it to make it work. And instead of using Behat, you'd use something else. Yeah, that's been really good. I've really enjoyed being back on a stream. Hopefully it's all gone well and has worked. And I'll, if that's the case, I'll look forward to doing some more, and we can do some more Behat on the future stream. So anybody watching this later on, feel free to comment in. Let me know what you thought. And yeah, see you guys on the next one.